Hello, welcome to Amazon S3 tutorial or AWS S3 tutorial for beginners. What do most organizations have? Data. That too, massive amounts of data, gigabytes, terabytes, and even petabytes of data. You have transactional data, analytics data, log files from programs and operations. You have audio and video files, images, backups. You need to store this data. Can you just dump it somewhere? No. Data needs to be secure, storage has to be cost effective, and you should be able to access data from anywhere, anytime. Traditionally, stored on hard disks and archived as tapes. Organizations are finding that storing data on the cloud using cloud providers like Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud follows the new mantra of store it and forget it. Cloud means internet. In this tutorial, I will introduce you to a popular option for storing data on the internet called AWS S3. If you don't know how to create an account on AWS, please see my video on creating a free account on AWS. AWS Cloud Storage called S3 is the most popular option for cloud storage. S3 is short for Simple Storage Service. So what is S3? It is storage of data on the internet. It frees you from managing the hard disks like facing disk failures, disk full, adding new disks, etc. You have unlimited storage and you can access from anywhere in the world. That means you don't need to carry a portable disk with you. It is well suited for decoupling data from compute, as you can store all your data there and use serverless processing to process the data. Best of all, you only pay for what you use. That means you don't need to worry about excess capacity by provisioning more hard disk space, and you don't need to worry about business failure due to under provisioning. Now, how do you structure data on S3? At the top level, you create buckets. The bucket names should be unique across S3. You cannot rename a bucket, so make sure you create a bucket with the final intended name. A bucket belongs to one region. There is an option to replicate buckets spanning two regions to increase availability. You can add any files to the bucket. They are called objects. You can add them directly under the bucket, or you can create folders under the bucket. You can create deep nested structures that way. There is no charge for buckets, but data stored under the buckets are charged. If you are within free tier time period, which is normally first 1 year of your AWS account creation, then first 5 gigabytes of standard storage is free. Let us go ahead and create a bucket. I have logged in to my AWS console. So make sure you create your account and you are logged into the new console. On the console home, you will see various resources that you have already visited. If this is the first time, you will not see any entries in this. So you type S3 for accessing S3. You will see the services here. On top will be the S3 scalable storage in the cloud. Select that. You will see an account snapshot with the storage that is already consumed by you. This is the first time, then you will not see much information here. Buckets, if you already have some buckets, you can see this here. Otherwise, you will get a pop-up to create the bucket. Let's ignore all these other options and go to create bucket. See that it shows global on top for S3. So the S3 service is global, but a particular bucket is always in a single AWS region. For me, I have chosen US East You can choose whichever you want through the drop down. United States, Asia Pacific, Canada, Europe, Middle East, South America. Let us type the bucket name later. Let us choose other options first. If you want to copy the settings from another bucket, you can use choose bucket, but we don't want to do that now. Don't worry about ownership. Very important is that you block public access so that someone else doesn't steal your data. Now it has been made default, so block all public access. Next, bucket versioning. Make sure you enable bucket versioning so that if you accidentally delete a file in a bucket, then you can recover it from the backup. Tags are so that you can identify these resources. In any organization, it is always good to set up a practice so that you add some tags, like let me say department. These are key and value pairs. Department, let me say technical. Then responsible. Who is responsible for this bucket? Let me say James. You can add many tags like this. Encryption. We will enable encryption so that even if someone else steals our data, they will not be able to make out anything from that. You can choose S3 managed keys, SSC S3. You can also use SSC KMS so that encryption is protected by AWS Key Management Service. For corporations, I would recommend using this option. You can choose bucket key as enabled by default. Check the advanced settings. Object lock. This is so that nobody can remove an object from this bucket once it is uploaded to the bucket. We will not use this for now. Now you can create the bucket. We forgot to give it a name. Let us choose the same name, my AWS bucket. Now it says already exists. I have not created this bucket, but this is across all the buckets for this region. So that is why it says already exists. Now let me choose my AWS bucket. Now it says it must not contain uppercase characters. So it should be only lowercase letters. Gana -bucket, Gana bucket. This already exists. Let me say tutorial. For tutorial. Underscore is not allowed. That is not good. Let us change it to dash. Okay. Now let us go back and create the bucket. Okay. Gana bucket for tutorial is created. So we have successfully created a bucket with versioning, encryption, and tags. Next, we will be looking at uploading some files into this bucket. Why storing data on the cloud has become so popular? We learned that in this tutorial and also found how to set up buckets on AWS S3 storage to store your data. Do we need to keep our data in a portable disk when we travel? No need, as cloud data is accessible from anywhere in the world. What are you waiting for? go ahead and practice storing data on S3. Please encourage us by liking this video and subscribing to my channel even if you have learnt a little.